What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Before we even get going, I want you to take a second and take note of what you are wearing, and hopefully you are wearing something. And if you're not fully dressed for the day yet, maybe you're watching this early in the morning, think about the things that you would wear today. Now, take note of how many colors would be in the outfit that you are wearing or that you plan to wear. For me, today I am wearing this green jacket, this green hat, and a black shirt. This is a very common outfit for me. I also have this brown leather necklace that my little boy gave me a couple years ago, and I proudly wear it every single day. This is how I am dressed, and I bet if you were to look at what you're wearing and count the colors, you would arrive somewhere maybe around 2, 3, 4, maybe more if you've got a very outgoing personality. Most people, though, are gonna dress 2, 3, 4 colors max every single day. And we're not talking about like the spectrum of color. We're talking about if we were to grab the Crayola box of 8 colors and make it work for us, green, blue, yellow, you're wearing 2, 3, maybe 4 colors. Now, let's think about photography, because this philosophy, when applied to photography, creates very compelling and very beautiful images. One of the reasons black and white photography is so wonderful is because at its core, it is only 2 colors or lack thereof. You have black and you have white. And yes, there's a spectrum of gray in between, but we call it black and white photography because at its core, it's black and white. It's two-toned. Much like I am right now, I'm kind of two-tone, black and green. That two-tone look on any composition or in any part of the world is going to have a bit of simplicity to it and beauty to it because stylistically it works. I have black and white photos all over my walls behind this camera, in which you might have seen in other videos, because they're uniform. They work well on my gray walls. There's diversity in those photos, but they all match one another when they're printed and framed in a black frame. Why? Because they are all two-toned. This is what it means to dress our photos. If we dress our photos with 2, 3, maybe 4 tones, or maybe we pop a color accessory somewhere in the outfit of the photo, you get very pleasing photos. And I bet if you were to go look at some of your favorite photographers right now on Instagram and count the colors that you see, you probably will only see the spectrum of 2, 3, or 4 colors in all of their photos. So I'm gonna do that actually. I'm gonna take you on a journey across a handful of my favorite photographers, and we're gonna look at how they dress their photos. So in 2019, I was up in Canada at a Socality event, and I got to meet Garrett King, otherwise known as Short Stash, probably one of the most famous photographers of our generation. Super nice guy. What I took note of when I met him was that our first night we were all going in to get dinner. It was raining and he held the door for everybody to come in, and he came in last. Even though he was the biggest name by far that was there, the guy held the door for everybody to come in, and that really said something to me about his character, and I've been a fan ever since. And so let's take a look at a couple of his photos. If we start by just looking at his gallery, you see his whole Instagram, his whole gallery presentation here is kind of dressed in similar tones. We can see some of the same oranges, some of the same blues, and some of those same earth tone greens across all of his photos. But that's a different discussion, because whenever you can dress all of your photos collectively the same, now you have created a style that you are known for. And that ultimately is what style is. We all have a style in which we dress, and our photos have a style if we intentionally dress our photos. Let's take a look at this one here. This is basically a 3-tone photo. Maybe I would even say it's a 2-tone photo with an accessory. You've got the sky, the ground, and the car are all basically the same color, the same tone, but you've got a pop of this pink, but there's also that spectrum that includes that red in it as well. So you have basically two tones in this photo. Let's take a look at something that was shot in nature, like this fall photo here. I want you to notice that, of course, you see green, but then you see that spectrum of orangish red in the leaves. It's very fall. So now we're at two colors. That same orange and red and yellow is in the line of the road, which we would count that in the same spectrum. The color of the road, the blue, is also the blue of the shadows in the trees in the background. So I really see three colors here, three spectrums of colors. It's very simplistic. Even though it's very busy, it's still beautiful because of its simplicity in the colors. Let's scroll back a little bit. We'll do one more of his and then we'll go check out somebody else. Here's one at the beach. You've got an overall cast of orange from the sun, but that orange is also in every part of where the light is touching. It's in the sand, it's on the water, it's in the sky. And then you've got the same, maybe it's like a blue. I mean, Short Stash is known for these blues. The silhouette of the guy and the surfboard and the shadow that's being cast are very much the same color. So what you've got here really is a two-toned photo, and it is just absolutely beautiful. And again, it doesn't matter what, when you look at, you're gonna see this plays out in almost every single image. Hey, and real quick, before we go any further, if you are enjoying this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I started this channel about a year ago, and this has been an awesome year, but let's keep this thing going. Your subscribing and watching these videos helps keep this channel alive and active. So thank you guys for doing so. All right, let's jump back in. Let's take a look at Forrest Mankins. He's one of like the most OG guys that ever influenced me years and years and years ago. Let's take a look at this shot here. It's probably one of his most iconic shots. We've got green earth tones and the yellow that's kind of inside of that green, but we're gonna just call that one tone. It's also very much in the highlights in the trees in the background where there's light hitting. Then you've got kind of that darker earth tone that's happening in the trees and the shadows. Maybe we'll call that maybe color 2. Even though it's kind of in the same family as the earth tones and the greens. You've got the dirt road, which is very earthy as well. So these are like thematically all earth tones, which you could technically classify all earth tones as kind of like one tone, one style. But then you've got the red bike. You've got the pop of red coming at you and just being so present in this photo. And so that's like our third or fourth color, depending upon how you're counting these. And then you've got, of course, the white shirt and the white hat. But if you were really to pixel peep, and man, Instagram sucks for pixel peeping, you would see that it's a similar color that is in the ground below with the dust kicking up off of the dirt road. We have similar tones there. And so this photo is dressed in a very stylistic way. He called this one Simple Photos from a Simple Person. We've got the yellow of the leaves, the blue of the sky, and then we've got the trees themselves, which are white with that sunlight hitting them, bringing them into some uniformity with the leaves, but being that kind of third pop of color here. Even in a portrait, you see this playing out. I want you to notice here, the lake and the trees and the sky have a similar tone, but her eyes also connect with that tone. And then you've got her skin tone, but because of the way the light's hitting, her hair and her skin tone are very much uniform. And then the shadowy side of her hair is also fairly uniform with the shadows in the background of the lake and the trees. And then she's got this pink shirt on, which also matches her lips and the red hue of her skin. So really here we've got three colors that are standing out to us in this beautifully dressed photo. And I keep saying dressed photo for the sake of this video because I want to make this point so clear. Let's take a look at Bertie Mandagi, one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. And he just released his preset pack, which I'm putting a link to below. That is not an affiliate link. That is 100% for him. He and his wife, Emily, are about to have a baby. And so be sure to pick up Bertie's presets because we want to be a supportive community of people that inspire us. We'll start with this one here because this one really makes the point super clear. You've got an abundance of green, you've got a blue sky, and you've got the white van. And yes, you've got the brown tree stumps as well, but they're kind of the accessory in this. This is a primarily two-tone photo of green with a little bit of blue, but then you got that pop of white, and there's a simplicity to it that is Very, very beautiful and very compelling. And as you scroll all of his photos, you see the uniformity in this style across all of his images. Take a look at this one here. We've got the Tetons that are popping in that orange sunlight. We've got the blue of the background and the shadows and the sky, which you also have that blue fading into some of the warm tones of sunset, but those tones of the white sky are also in the white snow. So you just see it playing out here. You've got three primary colors in this. You've got orange, blue, and white, and everything else is between the spectrum of those colors, but those are the three that stand out. This is one of my favorite series he's ever done, are the shots from the plane that he took here. They're insane. I'm going to show you one that is like the nail in the coffin, and that is wildlife photographer Charlie Savely. They are heavily edited to reflect her style, and you see her colors across every single image she puts out, and it is phenomenal how she does this. And that is what has made her images so iconic. You can see one of her photos and you know it's one of hers because of how the photo is styled, how she's dressing the photos. Let's start with this one of this eagle here. You've got the blue of the sky, the brown of the eagle's wings. You've got the white of the snow and the eagle's head and tail feathers. And then you've got the pop of orange in the beak and in the talons. While we might call this a four-tone photo, that same thing is happening all over her gallery. Even this picture of herself, she's got the blue, she's got the white, the brown, and the pop of orange. There it is. You've got the blue, the orange, and the white. Blue, orange, and white. I mean, look, you see it across everything she does. She's styling these photos and dressing them in a way that has minimal color diversity, but looks so good. I literally could do this all night long to make this point and visit a ton of photographers that I admire and show you how their work has color, simplicity in its diversity. And I get that this is a philosophical idea, but I bet if you were to go out and start looking for compositions, either compositions that are occurring out in your world that have 2 to 3 colors, or compositions that you will edit to uniform 2 or 3 colors in, you will see your work get greatly elevated and become very pleasing and begin to become stylized in a way that you could present consistency across all of your images. That to me is what defines lasting photography. It's not random shots or right place, right time. It is finding color simplicity in its diversity across a spectrum of light and locations and people. The more diverse you can be while keeping color diversity to a minimum, and that's a challenge, I believe the more iconic your own style will be. I hope this video has been insightful and helpful. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts and maybe how you approach color with your photos. I try to reply to every comment, so if you leave one, I'm going to try to get back to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always appreciate the kind words, the comments, the DMs, and messages. Thank you guys again for being an awesome community, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, night, week, month, wherever you are, and whatever you're doing. I'll see you next time.